Hey guys, what's up? Nitro123 here. Coming to you here today to do a deck profile on another one of my troll decks that I'm just now actually finishing. It's taken me a really long time to find all the cards for this deck because of just how hard the cards are to find. But this time I'm going to do Empty Jar. Empty Jar has been doing really well at certain tournaments, and I'm just going to give you my take on it. First off, we have the one Morphing Jar for obvious reasons to deck your opponent out. Then we have one Absorbing Jar. This card is a card from the new set. I don't know if I can get the card effect to show up. Pretty much what you can do is you can flip, destroy all set spell and trap cards on the field. Then each player draws one card for each of the cards they controlled that was destroyed by this effect. You cannot set any cards this turn. So as you can see, that can really help a lot of decks go really well. So, you know, that would be really cool to actually use it, because, I mean, they'll expect Morphing Jar if they know what you're playing in game 2, and then they have a lot of back row, flip Absorbing Jar, and then just certain plays. 2 Swift Scarecrows. These are just for, like, making sure that you don't lose. I'm playing 2 Tour Guides because if your opponent can remove from play your Jar, you're kind of in trouble. So you're going to have to run over Jar with something, and it's also good to go get your one of Sangan, because then when they kill the Sangan on the first turn, if you can Tour Guide Sangan in defense mode, and then they kill the Sangan, you can go search Jar and continue from there. Next we have 3 AD Changers. These cards are really good because if they're milled or sent to the graveyard by something, you can use them to flip your Jar back up. And that's the monsters. I think there's like 9. Okay, now the spells. We have 3 Pot of Duality, just to search for pieces on turn 1. Normally after you go off you don't really use it that much. 3 One Day Apiece. This card is probably one of the best ones in the whole deck, because what One Day Apiece is going to do for you, it's just going to be 1 day apiece. You don't lose next turn pretty much, and then you have another chance to draw out for Jar. Plus it makes your opponents draw cards, which is really good. Next we have the pretty much the whole flip arsenal of cards. We have of course we have the 3 Tayus to flip the Morphing Jar back face up after it's been set or placed face down. Then we have, for the reset up cards, we have the 3 Book of Eclipse and the 1 Book of Moon to reset the Jar. And a lot of people forget about Book of Eclipse's second effect, and that it sets all cards on the field, and then at the end of the turn, all the cards flip back face up, and then each player draws a card, or then your opponent draws 1 card for each of their monsters flipped up or something like that. But see, that's really good because it can also help your opponent deck out. Let's see. Next we have the 3 Feather of the Phoenix. This card's really good if you do not draw Tayu or Eclipse, or you run out of them very early. You can just put them back on the top. And normally what I use to draw them is I either use 1 Day Apiece or the 3 Upstart Goblins to try and draw them out. So that's a pretty good combo that I like to use. I normally set a lot of Upstart Goblins in this deck. Next we have 3 Magical Mallets. Towards the end of the combo, this is normally where this card comes in handy the most, or on the first turn if you don't draw Jar and you need to reset your hand. This card's good for that. But at the end, if you have like no cards in your, if you have no cards in your deck, mallet your hand back, and it makes your hand less. Like if you have 1 card in your deck, mallet your hand back, and then try and get your hand size, or try and put cards back on the top of your deck till you have 2, and then you can card destruction for a game. 2 Magical Stone Excavations. This is another way that I like to this is the other way of the deck that you can get the books back to your hand, and it's also a good way to discard outlet for AD Changer. Next, I'm only playing 2 Gold Sarcophagus because you only really need 2 of them in the whole deck. One's to get heavy and the other one's to get Jar if you don't draw it. So and I dropped the other one for the Absorbing Jar because I really want to test out and see how that card works. Next we have 1 Hand Destruction. Just because, I mean, it's good to make your opponent, it's really pretty easy to make your opponent deck out with this card if you absolutely have to. Next we have the 1 Heavy Storm. If your opponent has back row and you really don't want to go off, or you think they have Veiler, you might want to heavy or try and bait the Veiler in some other way. Foolish Burial. It's another one of, just pretty much get AD changer to the graveyard. And then finally, the one card destruction. This is really pretty much in here. This is the final card in the combo. You make sure that you have like one card in your hand and 2 cards in the deck, and make sure your opponent only has like less than 5 cards in the deck. And pretty much what you can do is just say card D and you win. And that's pretty much how the deck works. And the only XC's really going to need are like a Leviathan and a Leviair. The Leviathan's only there so that way you can like make this and swing over big guys that are stopping your morphing jar from going off, and the Leviair's to get it back if it gets removed. Alright guys, so that's my empty jar deck. I hope you liked it. Comment, rate, subscribe, and thanks for watching. So bye.